Welcome back to the project on DevOps. So in this lesson, we are going to set up some credentials. So if I just go back and show you the workflow here, you can see this Jenkins server is connected to GitHub and Docker Hub and the Kubernetes cluster. So we need to provide the credential to the Jenkins server so that Jenkins can access to GitHub and Docker Hub. If it has the credential to access the GitHub so that it can clone the repository, okay, and we have to give the access to Docker Hub because the Jenkins server is going to push the Docker images to this Docker Hub, okay. So and at the end we need to deploy the YAML file to Kubernetes cluster. So in this lesson I am going to set up GitHub and Docker Hub credentials and in the different future lessons where when we will set up this Kubernetes cluster, okay. For this lesson we are going to just set up the GitHub and Docker Hub credential. So I am on the Jenkins welcome page, and if I click on this little drop down arrow, I will go to manage Jenkins and click on manage credentials, okay, and then click on Jenkins. This is for global credential. Click on add credential, and for username, first I'm going to use for GitHub, so I'm going to provide the GitHub user ID, and then the password. For password I'm going to use a function that is good for security purpose in GitHub. So if you go to settings, so once you click on settings, go just scroll down, and here developer setting, click on developer setting, and here we have this personal access token. So we can generate a new token, so just click on generate new token, and I will give it as a CI/CD access token. You can write any note and then what type of action of access you want to give to this token, okay. So I'm going to give this admin repo hook, so it have the full control of repository hooks, okay, like writing the repository and reading the repository. So just click over here and click on generate token, okay. So here is the token, so just copy this. You can do this thing, I think. Okay, let's go to the Jenkins page and paste that access token, and for ID you can write GitHub access ID. For description you can give it like GitHub access credential, and click on OK. So now I'm going to add credential for Docker. So for the username, it's you have to provide your username, and for password you have to give your password. Here there is no token for this, for the Docker Hub, so there is no functionality like that, like GitHub. Just go with that, and then ID Docker Hub access ID, and description you can write any which is, you can understand. Docker access credential. So this ID is, we are going to use it in the Jenkins pipeline and Jenkins file, so that it can, or your pipeline can access that GitHub or Docker Hub. So just click on OK. So we have these two credential already set up. Now we have to set up one more, that is Kubernetes cluster access, but that we are going to